Okie dokie, back to our technical real estate related videos. Yes, it is Saturday. Yes, I'm door knocking. But when you are, let's say you door knock and you get to the door and they are willing to sell and they don't need, okay, well let me rephrase that. Everybody wants their money as much as, they want it right now. They want as much as they want, all that stuff, right? But let's say you can't give that to them. Say somebody wants $300,000, $500,000, $800,000 for their house. And it may or may not be worth that amount. Maybe they are being realistic. Maybe that's what it's worth. But it's not selling right now, on the market. Or you just know that all the comparables that you've looked at, they're all priced in that same range. They all have this similar location, similar features, similar layout. They're all, let's say cookie cutter, and they're not selling. And you can point to this person and say, look, your house may be worth $500,000, but you have 5 competitors on the market right now at that price point that are like yours or better, and they've not sold for 30, 60, 90, 100 days. So you may want $500, but nobody's going to give you, or not 500,000. But nobody's going to give it to you because they're not giving it to these other people, right? And that's a pretty rare example where there's 5 identical homes all in the same location on the market at the same time. But just hear me out, right? So you can go to these people and say, hey, look, I'd love to give you the $500,000. And I can. But I need terms. But I need the terms. So I'll give you your price. I need my terms. And they're going to say, well, what terms is that? Because the only terms they want to hear is close in 30 days or sooner. Unfortunately, you're going to have to say, well, I'll give you your price when nobody else is willing to right now because of the economy, because of the market, because of the location, because of the whatever, interest rates. But I need my terms. And that means I will give you $20,000 right now, and I need you to take payments on the rest of that for the next, 5 years. Oh, no. If I was to do something like that, I would need $200,000 down, not $20,000. Okay, sure. You need $200,000 down right now within 30 days. No problem. But I'm going to need to pay you out the rest. So what we're going to have to do is, if I'm giving you $200,000, that's a big chunk. So your purchase price is going to have to come down. It's going to have to come down to about 75% of the ARV. And let's say it is ARV 500. Let's say it's in good condition. It's fine, right? So then I'm going to need you to take 20% off your price of the 500. But I'll give you 200,000 right now. But instead of 5 years to get you the rest of it, I might need 7 to 10, preferably 10. So that's the pitch, you guys. That's how it goes with seller financing. And I'm sure you've heard this with Pace Morby and all the other gurus, but I just wanted to kind of explain why. Like, why is it this way? Well, if you get a seller who's willing to carry the note or do subject to or seller financing, regardless of whatever situation it is, they always want a bunch of money now, and they want the rest of it as soon as humanly possible. Typically, all within 30 days. But if you can negotiate terms, the terms still have to be good. And for example, I have 2 properties right now, well, actually 3. I have 1 under contract, and I have 2 that I'm talking to that are willing, all of them are willing to take terms. The problem with all 3 of them is they want a lot of money up front, and they want the rest of it within 4 to 5 years. So I'm going to have to go back to all 3 of these people, and I'm going to have to tell them, hey, you guys, I understand that you want $60,000. I understand you want $100,000. I understand you want $170,000, and those are all real numbers. I understand you want all that money down. And I can do that. I can. Totally fine. But I'm going to need you to come down on your price. And I'm going to need more than 4 or 5 years to get you the rest of it. And the reason for that, the reason why, is because I need time to, well, essentially, I need to go get a loan for that money. So I need somebody to give me a loan for your down payment. That'll put them in first position, put you in second position. So again, that's another thing you need to talk to them about. It's just like, hey, you're going to be in second position on this note. You know, however, I'm giving you your money, so I'm not going to walk away, right? Like if I give you, you know, $200,000 or $170,000 or even $60,000, like I'm not going to just walk away from the deal. Like that's money that I owe to someone else. So I'm going to, you know, fulfill my end of the bargain, and I'm going to make payments to you and make payments to them. But it's got to make sense. And I'll explain it to them like, hey, here's my payment to the lender number one. Here's my payment to you. Here's what the tenant can pay to cover those costs, right? And even if I'm break even, even if it's break even, that may not be the worst case scenario, because I got into a property $0 or almost $0 out of my pocket, and I'm having this tenant pay down my debts on them. So even if it's 0%, you get into the deal for $0. That's pretty sweet, right? I mean, not, you know, out of my pocket. Obviously, I still have these debt obligations, but I have a tenant to take care of that stuff. And then, yes, you must be mindful of, you know, CapEx expenses, vacancy, you know, potential evictions, all that stuff, right? All those things could happen, so just be mindful of that. I would never recommend that you get into a property if you're making $0, but I'm saying you could. And, you know, and I say I probably wouldn't do anything worse than that. If you're losing money every month, there better be a really good equity position for you to, you know, get the tenant out of there, do a cash out refi, get money in your pocket, or just flip the property. But either way, those are kind of the terms, right? If you give people their price, you really need to dictate the terms, and you can't stray from it. You know, if you give somebody their price, your terms need to be fair and reasonable to you. Like you need to be able to say, hey, you know, I need, you know, 10 years to get this back to you. I need 10 years to be able to do a, you know, cash out refi, right? Like I need an interest rate that makes sense to me. I need payments that make sense to me. I need a down payment that makes sense to me. And if they're not willing to work with you on the terms, then they're just not that motivated yet. And that's okay. And that's probably what's going to happen with 2 or maybe all 3 of these properties, is I'm going to have to go back to them and say, hey, you know, I saw that you countered, and, you know, my original offer was, you know, 3 or 4% as an interest rate, you know, 5% down over 10 years. And then they counter with high down payments and short, you know, terms to pay them back. That just isn't, you know, that doesn't really work. You know, that doesn't make sense. And I'll tell them, like, if I agreed to this, I would put myself in a position where I would potentially default, and I wouldn't be able to fulfill the obligation, and I wouldn't want to do that to you or myself. So that's a little bit of seller financing 101, maybe 102. It's a little bit more technical, but just wanted to make this video because these are situations that I'm finding myself in. After you make a lowball cash offer, they tell you no, then you kind of pitch them like, okay, well, what about this? What if I give you your price? I just need terms. So that's kind of how I'd been doing it. You know, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of education, but sometimes you find somebody who's willing to be reasonable. Okay, you guys, wanted to just make that short video. Still door knocking. Catch you later.